things with people and basically rambling on to my interviewers the same way I would have to my friends, partly because a couple of them were my friends. So I only encountered real problems when I started believing that it was my duty to be a dissident with a capital D. Because my moment of D-list celebrity had been so accidental, I felt for many years I had to prove myself worthy of the cause. Like, everything I say must be A-star, even every poll must be A-star. So it's very Singaporean, I feel, to keep needing to prove you're good enough, smart enough, fast enough, and all of this in as short a time as possible. And I was very, very Singaporean in wanting to domesticate impulses like writing and thinking for the sake of a greater good. I really wonder what my 18-year-old self would say if she would see me now, just bumming for 2 years, no best-selling poetry collection, and far too focused on the here and now to agonize over the tracks that people laid out for her. The reason why I stand here today is that I'm no longer the kid who was so amazed that people were listening that she felt she had no right to stop talking. Tonight, I'm very relieved I can wrap up now. Thank you for switching off your handphones in this time. Thank you for listening.
When we first met our next speaker, we were totally charmed, and we actually weren't all that surprised to learn that she's a former winner of the Singapore Tourism Board Award for Tourism Host. She's also the manager of Singapore History Consultants, and is also a co-creator of the original Singapore Walk series. Your piece earlier back. Bringing you all the interesting nooks, crannies, and back alleys of Singapore, which gives a whole new meaning to the phrase of wake up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce you to Savita Kashyap.
Well, okay, hello everyone. My speech has nothing to do with all the things that Colin just described of me. My story actually has to do a little bit with being a mother in Singapore. And like most mothers in Singapore, I'm quite kiasu, you know what that means, right? One of my kids is having their O-levels this year, the other one's having PSLE, and you all know who's the one being stressed out, right? Obviously, okay, me very much. But unlike most other mothers in Singapore, I feel very lucky, very privileged to actually have been given a whole year off from work. Okay, thanks to my very kind boss sitting right over there. To everyone, I think you deserve a clap. This is despite the government's pro-family, pro-shared values and things like that. I'm one of the very few who has this privilege of getting a full year off. Anyway, back to my story. Here we were, back in Singapore, my husband and I, after 6 years of having lived in the Middle East, in Abu Dhabi, that's in the United Arab Emirates. And we were back, we had with us a little boy and a baby girl. And the kids grew up, as they will. And it was time for them to go to school. And my son, when he went into primary school, his very first year, we had an experience of our very first racial harmony day. Okay? At first we were really puzzled, my husband and I, racial harmony? What on earth is all that about? Back in our time, when we were growing up in the 60s, you didn't talk about racial harmony. You just had a lot of friends who came from all walks of life, from all, different backgrounds and nationalities and ethnic groups, and that was it. You didn't think about racial harmony. So anyway, we got pretty excited when we received this letter from his class teacher, and she had, explained everything, and then we found out, racial harmony days. To remember those horrendous riots that we had back in July 1964 during Prophet Muhammad's birthday celebration. we remember that every year by celebrating cultural and racial diversity and harmony. Okay? So, anyway, the instructions from the teacher were very clear. She said, send your child to school dressed up in ethnic attire. Okay? And send him or her with some ethnic food as well to be shared with all the other kids in the class. So, you know, being a really conscientious mom, went down to Little India, bought my little boy a nice little kurta and pajama, dressed him up as a nice little Indian boy, and cooked this, you know, lovely Indian sweets for him. Put them in a Tupperware, sent him off to school. Okay, and I thought it'd be a great day. Now he came back in the evening in a terrible rage. This little boy just, you know, threw the door open, tore off his clothes, and threw his Tupperware down. And I said, "Karan, what happened to you? What's wrong?" And he said, "I hate you, I hate school, I hate Singapore, I hate racial harmony day, and I hate being an Indian." Okay, and he was like, what happened? Why? And he said, "Mom, why did you make me wear this?" Everybody laughed at what I was wearing, and you know, and the food that he made for me, nobody ate it, nobody even looked at it. I said, "Why? Didn't the other kids bring you know, food from home?" And he said, "They did, you know," and the teacher said, okay, everybody bring your food now. What did you bring? Okay, go to the canteen, go and share. Okay? So everybody went to the canteen and opened their food. And he said that, but then Bernard's mom came over with Kentucky Fried Chicken. And everybody forgot, you know, looking at that, and went straight to that. Okay? And oh my God, you know, that was our first racial harmony day, right? Where was the teacher? Where was she? You know, just was like, okay, this is Indian, this is Malay, this is Chinese, and all that. And, well, you know, I don't know whether you get the point I'm making, but I don't think we need to talk about racial harmony, you know, like back in the 60s. We just be who we are, that's it. Okay? All right.
Thank you very much, Adina, for sharing that with us. I think it's very telling that Racial Harmony Day was wrecked by Colonel Sanders. Many things are wrecked by a man in white. Our next speaker, we're going to change the order slightly. Our next speaker is someone to whom we are eternally indebted. When the censors demanded that the Terminator scene in Talking Cock the movie be cut, he, together with the youth wing of the Central Sikh Gurdwara, were our biggest supporters and helped keep the scene intact. He's an associate professor in English literature and creative thinking at SMU. He's also a wonderful poet and internationally acclaimed academic with invitations to speak from all over the world. So we are very privileged to have gotten him home to join us, even if it's just a talk rock. He's one of the nicest people we know, and he says that we Singaporeans need to be fully aware of what is truly going on around them and to help in every way possible to make and keep us human. He said to introduce him as the MP for sometimes Belakang Jerak. Ladies and gentlemen, he puts the swing back in Singapore, Professor Kirpal Singh. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, sir. I believe that's talker. I'm given to understand that all the proceedings in this august house are absolutely under the auspices of something known as parliamentary privilege. I'm perfectly able to understand that any levity that is taken by quotation, directly or indirectly, outside of this house, with both its chambers intact, shall be punished with unmitigated vigor.